Hi, and thanks for joining us today to review tasks and projects. My name is Allison, the head of customer success, and I'll be your guide as we explore what's new. The first update is how we add a task. If you click on Add Task in the upper right hand corner, we now have simplified the way that you add a task. Let's go ahead and add a task for demo purposes. Select a client. Now, workspace is optional, so it's up to you if you want to select one. For demo purposes, I will go ahead and select one. Now, as adding a task, we give you a drop down select. So you can choose one commonly selected task, or you can go ahead and type out your own. Your task can be anything that you can think of. It can be check email, grab coffee for a meeting, schedule training, whatever you want it to be. For demo purposes, I'll go ahead and select Reconcile Bank Account. Now, our next major feature is the ability to have unassigned tasks. So now in my drop-down select, I have the ability to select unassigned. What that does is it goes into an unassigned bucket. And as your team has availability, they can go into that bucket, edit a task, reassign it to themselves, and start working on it. For demo purposes, I will go ahead and select unassigned. You can still choose to assign it to your team members, or you can assign a task to a client user. It's up to you and your workflow of how you want things to work. If you scroll down, you'll see all of our available options. Now it's up to you how much information you want to actually put in your task. These are the available options. You can add in a description, you can add a priority, start date, due date, repetition cycle. You can select it as billable if you will bill by the hour. You can also attach a document. And finally, we have Cora. Cora is our smart assistant. She will follow up with your task owner so that they are done in a timely manner. She is completely optional, so it's up to you if you want to use her. You can start out as no, you want to leave her off. Then, if your client or your team members become unresponsive, you can always turn her on at a later time. If you do choose to use Cora, you get to configure her mode, and her mode is how and when she follows up with your task owners. Once you have all of the task information, you can go ahead and hit save if you're done, or you can hit save and more if you would like to add more. I am done with this task, so I'm just going to go ahead and save it. Now that I've added that task as unassigned, let me show you how you can go into that bucket, reassign that task, and start working on it. So if you click on this filter button, we now have a new task view that's called unassigned tasks. If you click on it, you will go ahead and see all of your unassigned tasks. And again, your team members can come in, they can edit the task and reassign it to themselves. Let's do that now. If you click on edit, it will show you all the task details. And from here, you can assign it to yourself, your team members, or any of your client users. Once you're done, you can go ahead and hit save, and it disappears from my unassigned task list. Now let me go back to my tasks. If I hit the drop down and I select my task, you'll now see that task in my not started. Now, again, this is our Kanban board, and the goal of the Kanban board is to move your task from not started to the completed column. The easiest way to move your task from not started to in progress or any of the other stages that you configure is just to drag and drop. So you can drag it and drop it. That will automatically move the state of the task. You also have a few more options. So you can click on the task. It will display all the task information up at the top. You can then move the status to any one of the stages that you would like. Okay. You also have the ability in that drop down select, you can move that task back to unassigned if you would like to, or you can reassign it to any one of your team members or client users. A few more options that we have just to review. We have a comment section, so you can add your team members if you have any questions. Those team members will then get notification that they have a new comment in a task. We also have the ability to attach documents. So if you have an attachment, you can attach a document and all the team members will be able to see that attachment. We also have an in-app timer, so you can choose to start our in-app timer, as well as manually enter your time if that's something that you prefer. We have a log timetable down at the bottom. We also have an activity log. So everything that's done in this actual task whether I assign the task to myself or I moved it into different stages, that is tracked in our activity log. So that's how tasks work. Let's go ahead and let's move to our projects. Now, just to review, a project is a group of tasks all relating to each other. Let's go ahead and create a project. If you click on project up in the right-hand corner, again, it has a streamlined interface so you can easily add your projects. You can select a client and a workspace. Now, your project, just like task, can be anything that you can think of. For testing purposes, I'm going to go ahead and hit process payroll. You can add in a description if you'd like, as well as set the repetition cycle. So because this is payroll, you can choose to repeat it weekly, bi-weekly, semi-monthly, monthly, quarterly, or yearly. Okay. This preference is based on the project that you're creating. You can also enable workflow, meaning task number 1 has to be done before task number 2 is available to be worked on. And again, we have Core Assistant here. She's completely optional again, so you can choose to use her if you want to. Once you have the project set up, let's add our tasks now. So these are all the tasks that are associated to that project. For demo purposes, I'll go ahead and add 3 different tasks. So when I process payroll, my first step is I need to collect my hours, right? Again, I can leave it as unassigned, or I can assign it to one of my team members. I have all of the task features down below. So again, it's up to me how much information I want to actually put in this task. But once I have that task done, I can hit save if I'm done adding all of my tasks. But in this use case, I'm going to save and add more. My next task is that I need to process payroll. Okay. Again, I can assign it to my team members or leave it unassigned. And I have all the available options. My next task is going to be submit taxes. And then again, I can fill out all of my task details. Once I'm done, I can go ahead and hit save. Now I have 2 different views. So this is my task view. It describes all of the different tasks. It shows who it's assigned to. At any time, I can edit, delete, or I can move these tasks, right? So if I needed to process payroll and move that to a different location, I can go ahead and move the tasks. Once everything looks good, you can go ahead and hit that project tab up at the top. Review everything to make sure it looks good, and you can go ahead and launch that project. That will automatically populate my project table. It has my start date, it has the project name, as well as I can view any of those tasks associated with that project. So that's a quick update on our tasks and projects. If you are new to our system and you don't know where to get started from, always feel free to reach out. We'd be happy to sit down, understand your tasks, understand your projects, and get you started on the right path forward. I do want to thank you for your time today. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us.